So a personal still life drawing is a collection of objects or items that represent you or have some personal connection for you in some way. So you're going to choose between 3 and 5 items from around your house or wherever you are that either interest you or have some kind of connection to you and are also interesting items to look at. We're going to set those up, and I'm going to show you in a minute how to do that. And then you're going to take photos of arrangements of those objects and submit them to the Google Classroom, along with a small written prompt about why you chose those objects and what composition you think is the best one. So I want to talk to you a little bit about the composition and what we're looking for, and then I'll show you the objects that I have. So in a good composition, you want to make sure you have objects of different sizes. You include some overlap so that there's an illusion of depth, and that you use angles to set up your objects. Don't just put them all in a row. Okay, so here are a bunch of objects that I've chosen. It was a centerpiece at my sister's wedding. This is a plant that was in my classroom. Oh, it makes me think of you guys. This is a mask that I made for a production of Alice in Wonderland. An elephant from my mother. A panda because I love pandas. They're awesome. Some paintbrushes because I paint, and this book that is my grandmother's. So I've chosen all these objects. I'm not using all of them, but I want to have some options when I set up my still life. So I'm just going to start arranging some of these objects here. Now I'm not going to worry about the background, so I know you can see this stuff back here. I don't care about that. I'm only concerned with these objects. So right here, this is an interesting angle. So this might be one composition for me. This, I think, is a little too tall, so that's going to go. And let's try moving some of these things around. Maybe we lay this down like on top of a brush. Oh, that's pretty cool. That's awesome. Now, I know that's 6 things, but that's okay. I do kind of like this. So this might be composition number 2. What does it look like from above? Oh, that's a cool angle. I kind of like this. So when you're working on your compositions, you want to think about where you're placing your objects in relation to one another. You want to include some overlap and different angles. So see here, the book goes this way, the panda goes this way, the brush goes this way, the elephant this way. That creates really interesting movement in your still life. Now, something you can also think about is zooming in. So what if I did a shot that was right here? If I do that, I want to move the elephant. Like something like this. That would be really cool. If I did a drawing like this, this panda becomes my focal point. That's the object that you look at the first and that you look at the most. Everything else kind of becomes in the background. And that's a great way to do this too. So let's try another arrangement. Maybe I'll get rid of this mask. And what if I want to make the elephant the focal point? So what if I put the elephant on top of this book? I'm dropping it. What if I do this? I have the elephant on top of the book, and then maybe I throw all these brushes in here. I'm counting brushes as one thing. That's a cool arrangement also. So maybe I like this. This angle is also really neat. So like that. So that, this. Now I have, right, a focal point, which is this elephant. This elephant's definitely the main focus of my composition, but there's a plant here in the background. You get a little bit of this book, and then these brushes are on all different diagonals. So that is a really cool composition also. Okay, so now that you saw me set up a few compositions, what you need to do today is choose 3 to 5 objects. Some of mine had more than that, and that's okay. You can do more if you want. Choose some objects, try arranging them in different ways, and you're going to take at least 3 different photos. They could be from different angles, maybe different ways you set up those objects, and you're going to submit all 3 of them to me today on the Google Classroom, along with a short written explanation of why you chose those objects, which composition you think is the most interesting, and let me know if you have any questions about drawing them, because our next class we're gonna jump right into drawing. So you don't have to draw anything today. This is all about exploring composition, what makes a composition interesting, and how you can create really interesting space with your objects. So think about angles, overlap objects, think about having a focal point, be creative, and make sure your objects fill the space. You don't want to have them really small and far away because you do need to draw from this. Also, please don't use 3 pencils as your objects. That's really lame, and if you submit that, I'm going to say no, find something else and try again. If you have questions, please let me know, and I look forward to seeing what objects you choose for your drawing.